Hey guys, it's Erica Galinas with Century 21 Affiliated here for our weekly market update. This week we are talking about Schererville, Indiana, and we're actually going to be covering 2 months. It's 1st of May, so we'll be both covering March and April numbers just so we're all caught up. So kind of interesting in Schererville compared to some of the towns around it. In February, which was the last update we did, 25 units sold, a total of 6.8 million in Schererville. This is everything, condos, mansions, everything in between. Average sales price about $274,000. So looking at sales in March, 1st to the end of the month, 22 units were sold, so a little less for a total volume of $7.5 million. Average price, $344,259, which is a $70,000 price jump in the space of a month. Kind of an outlier, as we'll see in the April numbers. Certainly we've had some gains overall, but that $70,000 is attributed to, a couple more expensive properties kind of throwing the average off a little bit. The average price, like I said, $344,000. Average days on market, 19 days compared to 24 days in February, which is a little quicker, like a week quicker or something like that. List to sales price in February was 97.9%. In March, it is also 97.49%. So a difference of 0.5% or something like that in terms of what the property is listed for and what it actually closed at. So almost 100%. So interestingly now in April, we're seeing a little bit in all the towns, a little bit, the market's moving a little bit faster. The spring market is just starting. The weather isn't cooperating, super great, but it's there. So in April, 33 units of real estate, again, that's all different kinds, in Schererville were sold for a total volume of $10.3 million. Part of that one, there was this $2 million, really nice $2 million home that sold. I kind of took that out because that's obviously an outlier and there were not a number of other $1 million homes sold. So the average price minus that big one was $324,772 for the month of April, so the most recent month. So we went up $70,000 between February and March, and now we're back down about $20,000. But, March had that kind of weird bump right there, so that puts us 274 to 324. That's about a $50,000 increase, which it seems more normal. It's certainly on the high side, but it seems like more average. Average days on market, 11 days. List to sales price, 100.92%. So that's a 3% difference again in month to month as we see the market starting to move a little faster. Schererville is in a really good position. In terms of pending listings. So these are listings that, have a buyer, haven't closed yet. They're waiting to build the house or they're waiting to get the title work or whatever it is. 58 pending listings. The average list price for those pending listings, and we'll see if it's closer to 100% or the 97%. Average list price is about $352,000, which tracks, we're at 324, 344, 324. It looks like we are going to be able to sustain that, $40,000 or $50,000 price increase in Schererville, at least over the next couple months. Average days on market, 10 days. So a little bit slower than, a little bit quicker, than it was before. Things are moving in Schererville. Of that, there's 10 new construction. There's a couple bigger homes built. There's those little townhouses that are going in different parts of Schererville. Not a lot of new construction in Schererville. But here's the thing in Schererville that is making things go quickly, that are making, and this is a good thing because they're on the lower price things. There are a ton of condos, townhouses, and duplexes in Schererville. Little tiny condos that were built in the 80s, brand new townhouses that were just built in the past 10 years. Most towns in our area do not have that kind of housing stock. And the reason why we are seeing continued, higher numbers, 100% list to sales price, and, really quick days on market is because these are some of the only places in our area that have listing prices, in the mid to upper 200,000s. In most of the markets that I cover, certainly the ones I do the video on, list prices are averaging above $300,000. So Schererville, if you don't have $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, Schererville's the only place you can really buy a place right now. And they're nice places. They're certainly not junky or anything. It just so happens with our market increases, these condos, these townhouses, these duplexes are, one of the things that are only affordable for people now. You used to see a lot of older people who would be in duplexes. They didn't want to take care of the lawn anymore. Sometimes you would see some younger people or maybe some single parents because they don't necessarily, again, want to take care of the yard, but they don't need big, elaborate 4-bedroom homes and stuff like that. We are now seeing all kinds of people buying duplexes, condos, and townhouses in all the areas that I cover. Part of that is because, first-time home buyers obviously don't have the budget that, somebody who already has equity in a house has, or maybe, a retired person that has, cash in the bank. So when they are going to buy to start building their equity, to start getting that kind of house savings plan going on, they're going to buy a condo, they're going to buy a duplex, they're going to be happy about it. They're beautiful, they're not junk. They just happen to be one of the only things in the area that are affordable in that first-time buyer price range. So you're going to see more, younger couples living together, married or not, doesn't matter. You're going to see maybe a couple with a kid, or maybe 2 kids. They want to enter the real estate market. Everything is ridiculously expensive. So they're buying these condos, they're buying these duplexes and townhomes. And I think it's actually going to make those communities, a little bit more fun. They're a little bit more diverse, more, different ages and, kids playing in the yards and stuff like that. I think it's actually a good look for Schererville. In terms of active listings, just like anywhere else, Schererville doesn't have enough active listings right now. The end. I could just stop right there. But the actual numbers are in Schererville right now. Condos, 1980s condos, giant $1 million mansions. There are 20 active listings in Schererville right now, which gives you an idea of, think about how big Schererville is, how many different neighborhoods, different kinds of houses. Only 20 of them are listed in town as of right now. Of that, 3 are new construction. I think those are those last of those few townhomes they built, which means there's only 17 existing homes in Schererville for sale right now. Again, of whatever kind. If you're looking for a mansion, if you're looking for a regular 3-bedroom home, you only have 17 to choose from. The average price is $435,000. That's the average. The median, which is kind of the middle mark, is about $400,000. So again, we're starting to see, those numbers kind of creep up a little bit. But that is a function of stuff that's been on the market, maybe on the higher end of the price range for a little bit longer, and we'll talk about that. The lowest listing right now in Schererville, it's a condo, it's older, but it's fine. It's not gross or anything. The lowest in Schererville right now is listed at $215,000. So again, those are going to be snapped up. 5 of those are condos, so we'll see, how those go. 15 are existing homes. Average days on market in Schererville right now is 27 days, which is in this market significantly more than the 11 days that we had in April, than the 10 days that we have for pending listings. We're seeing this in other towns, St. John in particular, as buyers are staying home because prices are just too darn high, and now interest rates are going up, so their pre-approvals are worth, a couple hundred less a month. They're not able to buy into these $400,000 and $500,000 towns anymore. We are going to start to see these higher prices, these higher priced homes stick on the market a little bit longer. Until such time as there's more competition, meaning more listings, prices are going to continue to stay high. The end. Again, somebody always has to move, so there's always going to be a market for something. So when you only have 20 houses for sale and you're competing for every buyer that ever wanted to live in Schererville, even with less buyers right now, that's going to keep those prices high. So we're going to continue to see these days on market number go up, because as the houses in the higher end, not even luxury, but just that higher end, that $400,000 plus area, those are going to stay in the market for a while, because buyers are not seeing the value in those houses. Wrong or right, buyers set the price for the market. They're not seeing it right now. Schererville has more activity because more, how about this, a shorter days on market and a higher list of sales price than St. John. And that's because we have these condos, because there is, Schererville's obviously a much larger footprint than St. John. So there are more homes that were built in the 80s, and there's more homes that were built in the 90s. So that's part of it. In St. John, the last market update I did, the average listing price right now in St. John for existing homes, these are not the fancy new construction in the Gates St. John, these are just existing homes. The average listing price is $611,000, $200,000 more than we're seeing in Schererville. What we're seeing in St. John is that the days on market, last year went from 4, 5, 10, 12 days on market to 22 days, 29 days, 41 days. We're starting to see, again, these higher priced towns sit on the market a little bit more because buyers aren't seeing the value. It's interesting because eventually what will happen is that, people are like, I'm not paying $611,000 for a house in St. John or $435,000 in Schererville, however these numbers go up in Schererville. They're going to be like, I'm moving to Valpo, or I'm moving to, I don't know, downstate, or I'm moving to Florida, or whatever it is that they want to do. Higher prices for sellers are obviously always an advantage because who doesn't want more money? But we may be approaching, between interest rate changes, our continued listing inventory crisis, and just, entering the spring market when people want to move, we may see our market start to stagnate. Not a bubble, but it's going to stagnate a little bit because its prices have just gotten too high for buyers. People value different things, whether it's location, whether it's, 5,000 square feet, whether it's fancy, whether it's, a classic house. People value different things, but at some point, they're going to reach their breaking point. Stagnation is probably the best thing that can happen to our markets because we have to get these listing prices, under control. There's nothing for these buyers to buy. Well, there's 20 for these buyers to buy right now, but we're looking at an average list price of $435,000, and people honestly have other options. They may not be great options, but they're doing the math. Buyers are doing the math, and they're finding out that these options are better than having a $2,400 mortgage payment every month. So we're going to keep an eye on this. St. John right now is the first one I've seen that's really kind of sticking there, kind of hanging around a while. Schererville's moving great, but it's mostly because of these affordable condos and stuff that they have. So we're going to see if Schererville, if those condos stop getting listed, are we going to see the same thing? We'll keep an eye on it. So if you have any questions about it, you live in Schererville, you're thinking of selling, think of moving to Schererville, call, text me anytime, 219-765-2062. You can also email me at hsbyerica@gmail.com. If you know somebody who lives in Schererville might be interested, please share this video with them. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I do these market updates every week. Next week we're talking about Munster. So again, interesting housing stock there. Not a lot of new construction, lots of classic homes that need updating. We're going to kind of keep an eye on the listings and the average sales prices there to see, are investors buying them, what exactly is going on in Munster. If you just have any general questions about home buying or selling, please, direct message me. Like I said, call, text me. I'm always happy to help. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you next week. Hey guys, I'm glad you're enjoying my videos. If you have any questions about buying or selling, but I'm not in your area, I have connections to an international network of realtors who would be happy to help. Give me a call, text me anytime, 219-765-2062. I'll be happy to give you the name of a realtor in your area. Thanks.